Happy Thursday, day 26 of our 40-day venture. So I was watching a soccer game a little while ago, football for those of you who are purists, and it was it played. It was one of those high-scoring soccer games, 0-0, and there was a prominent player who had 5 or 6 runs at the goal, and he was all over the field, but he had 5 or 6 breakaways, and it could not get it in. And then at the very end, the coach pulls him and puts in this young guy who just moved up. I guess it only played a couple games in the bigs, and he goes in and he gets the ball and sort of weaves his way downfield and scores and gets all the glory. And reflecting on this, it struck me that sort of like the parable that we're going to look at today. And that is, there's a lot of people that do all the work, and then there's other people that come along really late and seem to get a lot of the credit. So it is Matthew chapter 20. For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire men to work in the vineyard. He agreed to pay them a denarius for the day and sent them into his vineyard. About the 3rd hour he went out and saw others standing in the marketplace doing nothing. He told them, "You also go and work in my vineyard, and I will pay you whatever is right." So they went. He went out again, and at the 6th hour and the 9th hour and did the same thing. About the 11th hour he went out and found still others standing around. He asked them, "Why have you been standing here all day long doing nothing?" "Because no one hired us," they answered. He said to them, "You also go and work in my vineyard." When evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his foreman, "Call the workers and pay them the wages, beginning with the last ones hired and going to the first." The workers who came hired about the 11th hour, and each received a denarius. So when those came who were hired first, they expected to receive more. But each one of them also received a denarius. When they received it, they began to grumble against the landowner. "These men who were hired last worked only 1 hour," they said, "and you have made them equal to us who have borne the burden of the work and the heat of the day." But he answered one of them, "Friend, I am not being unfair to you. Didn't you agree to work for a denarius? Take your pay and go. I want to give the man who was hired last the same as I gave you. Don't I have the right to do what I want with my own money? Or are you envious because I am generous? So the last will be first, and the first will be last." So here's the deal. I didn't watch a soccer game. That was just an illustration I read somebody else use in talking about this parable. So I think there's a few things here. This strikes us as a real unjust. Like, how could somebody who works just a little bit get paid as much? Now, obviously, there's more things going on here. There's something about, I think, a statement being made about God's sovereignty. He can do what he wants. He's God. We're not. There might be something here, sort of a message to the Jews. The gospel is good news to the Jews first, but also to the others. And is God doing something? Is there some message there? I don't know. But here's a key point. This passage does remind us that we depend entirely upon the grace of Christ. And he can do whatever he wants to do. And we need to be willing servants in the game. We can count on God to bless us beyond what we have a right to expect. And sometimes he's going to upend our day. Sometimes he's going to upend our systems. But he does it, and it's to his glory. And we need to yield to the sovereignty of God in the decisions that he makes. Have a good day.